I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Justin Trudeau, Canada's charismatic yet often controversial Prime Minister, has resigned as party leader after nearly a decade in power. He announced his decision on Monday ahead of a key Liberal Party caucus meeting later this week. Trudeau's resignation now brings an end to a political era that began in 2013, when he became leader of the Liberal Party. It would also be a precursor to Trudeau stepping down as Canada's Prime Minister. Under his leadership, the Liberals won 3 consecutive elections in 2015, 2019, and 2021, but his tenure has been overshadowed by a string of scandals and growing discontent within his party and the public. One of the most damaging scandals occurred in 2019 when photos emerged of Trudeau wearing brownface at a party in 2001 while he was a private school teacher. The images, along with 2 other instances of him in blackface, caused outrage and called into question his progressive image as a champion of diversity. Despite public apologies, the controversy left a lasting mark on his reputation, particularly among minority communities. Trudeau's leadership was also criticized during his 2018 trip to India, when he and his family faced backlash for their elaborate displays of traditional Indian clothing. Critics accused him of cultural appropriation and argued that the outfits turned the visit into a political spectacle, further fueling claims that Trudeau was out of touch with ordinary Canadians. In 2018, allegations of inappropriate conduct resurfaced when a journalist accused Trudeau of groping her at a 2000 event in British Columbia. Although Trudeau apologized at the time, he later defended himself by claiming he did not perceive the interaction as inappropriate. The incident, referred to as grope-gate, reignited security over his behavior and added to the list of controversies surrounding his leadership. In 2016, Trudeau faced backlash after physically elbowing NDP MP Ruth Ellen Brosseau and allegedly manhandling opposition whip Gord Brown in the House of Commons during a heated debate. The altercation shocked many Canadians, leading to accusations of physical intimidation. While Trudeau quickly apologized, the incident added to perceptions of increasingly erratic leadership. Foreign interference also clouded Trudeau's time in office. In 2019, he accused China of attempting to meddle in Canada's elections by supporting certain candidates and deploying operatives to influence policy. Beijing denied the allegations, but the controversy raised questions about Canada's electoral security and Trudeau's ability to respond to international challenges. Trudeau also faced significant backlash during the 2022 Freedom Convoy protests, where truckers and their supporters opposed vaccine mandates and broader pandemic restrictions. Ottawa became gridlocked for weeks, and while Trudeau dismissed the protesters as a small fringe minority, the protests gained widespread attention and support, further polarizing Canadians. Trudeau's decision to step aside comes amid mounting pressure from within his own party, fueled by dismal poll numbers and a growing sense that the Liberals face an uphill battle in the next federal election. The resignation of his longtime ally and former Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland last month also added to the leadership crisis. Trudeau's resignation will now mark the end of a tumultuous decade in Canadian politics. His departure would leave the Liberal Party searching for new leadership at a critical moment, with Canadians eager for change and the opposition Conservatives gaining significant momentum in the polls.
I'll wing it. So I thought it might be fun for us to do this again. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election. Nous traversons vraiment un moment critique dans le monde. As you all know, I am a fighter, and I am not someone who backs away from a fight, particularly when a fight is as important as this one is. But I have always been driven by my love for Canada, by my desire to serve Canadians, and by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And Canadians deserve a real choice in the next election. And it has become obvious to me with the internal battles that I cannot be the one to carry the Liberal standard into the next election. Canadians. And Canadians deserve a real choice in the next election. And it has become obvious to me. If I have one regret, particularly as we approach this election, well, there are probably many regrets that I will think of. But I do wish that we'd been able to change the way we elect our governments in this country so that people could simply choose a second choice or a third choice on the same ballot, so that parties would spend more time trying to be people's second or third choices, and people would have been looking for things they have in common instead of trying to polarize and divide Canadians against each other. I think in this time, figuring out how to pull together and find common ground remains something that is really important for democracies. But I could not change unilaterally, without support of other parties, our electoral system. That wouldn't have been responsible.